Hi, my name is Vikram. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Yasu Cloud. Now, cloud continues to be the backbone for a lot of companies to innovate faster and take the product to the market. However, in the last couple of years, cloud has become increasingly complex to manage. And most people have the suspicion that they are overspending on cloud. And guess what? They are probably right. Over $500 billion annually is wasted because companies are not on top of their cloud spend. Now, historically, people have hired cloud engineers to solve this problem. They don't have to do that anymore. With Yasu's AI Cloud Engineer, which helps you not just report on what cloud waste they have, it actively prevents cloud waste from happening in the first place. So let's take Yasu for a spin and see how it really works. But you need to connect your cloud to Yasu. Yasu requires only read-only access to your environment to really understand deeply, how your cloud is set up and what's been going on. So once the access is granted, Yasu then starts. Yasu has AI agents which are specialized AI agents which look at specific areas. So they could be an AI agent which is for compute, which is just looking at what optimization you can do for compute and so on. Once the connections are established, you get an initial report saying, hey, we understand what your current spend is. We are also able to predict what your future forecast is. Now, normally you would work with a team and not alone. So you can at this point also invite, other people in your team. So let's say I want to invite CTO at my team.com to, to be a part of this. And that's it. So you're all set and you're ready to start seeing your first insights. Insights are recommendations on how you can, save on cost immediately. So you would start with initially with quick ones that Yasu is able to give you. You see something like this, where, like I said, you see the current spend, you see the forecast. You also see a service breakdown, which basically tells you, what are your top spending services, as well as which are the teams which have been, spending the most. So it gives you a entire view in one page. Next to that, you can look at your insights. It would also tell you, hey, here are the insights that you can, actively start working on. There could be some insights which are easy enough where what Yasu can do is we can actually auto fix this. For example, in case of AWS, you have these, pesty, often EBS instances which kind of linger on, and you can ask Yasu to auto fix that for you. Now, I want to, call out that any changes that we make are always with human in the loop. But some of these changes, which are low risk changes, you are able to do it directly from Yasu. Now, next thing you would do is try to understand some of these recommendations better. So you could understand these recommendations as you start seeing the details of the recommendation. But more often than not, once you've looked at a recommendation, you would have a question about the recommendation. That's when you use the Yasu assistant, which to ask questions like, hey, what's the implication of this change this change? And that's a very normal flow, right? I mean, cost would be saved, but I'm pretty sure that there is an implication in terms of performance. There's an implication in terms of downtime that I should be aware of. So you could ask these questions, and obviously you can chat with Yasu, based on the thing that you have. So the important thing here is that we are not just showing you a dashboard. We are giving you answers to the question that you really want to answer, right? You could do that within the context of an insight, or you could do that, more globally, where you want to, as a CFO, you want to understand what's the overall cost today. How has it been trending? Whether it's trending up, it's trending down, and you can get that kind of a view. You're obviously able to download that view as well. You could do it in two ways. You could do that within the app, but you can also do it in your Slack or Teams. So as a finance team person, you could, ask Yasu, hey, what's the cost overview? What are my spending trends? Questions that you typically have, for which you have to go to your technical team, not anymore. And that's one of our core principles, that you don't have to come to Yasu. Yasu comes to you where you are working. Let's get back to the dashboard for a second. And go back to the insights that we were talking about. So in the insight, the other thing you can do is if you have an insight, typically you want to assign it to someone in the team to, start working on it. And you can do that in Yasu. You can take an insight, put that on linear, have the team, assign a priority to it so that the team knows that, they have to work on it, right? So this goes back to our principle of taking Yasu to where you are. So when you do this, the entire details from the recommendation or insight actually goes and sits in your dashboard itself. Let's move to something, the next thing, which is the preventing of cloud waste. This is a feature that I'm most excited about. It's something which is very unique, what the way Yasu does it, right? So think of, how infra as a code is maintained, and assume that, you made some change. There's a new pull request that you are creating, and you start. Then let's go and create a new pull request, and basically let's say, hey, you're increasing the number of nodes. So there's a change that you made. You've had some kind of increase or change in your infra. At this point, when you do this, Yasu actually starts checking, what does this change mean from a cost perspective? And because Yasu knows your usage, not only are we able to tell you that, hey, by the way, this change is going to cost you 11,000 more. This will increase your cost by so and so. And why is that? What is changing? What is the change that's causing it? And finally, also, what's our recommendation? Again, because we know that the way you typically use your cloud, we're able to tell you very specifically, not just a general recommendation, but tell you very specifically that, hey, we think you're trying to, go to a larger and, instance. Maybe take a smaller instance because you've not, really overconsumed what you have already. So when this happens, your engineer can then, play back and forth and decide that, hey, what makes sense in that context? Well, let's say the person decides that, okay, you know what, I'm still going to go ahead and close that pull request. At that point, as an engineering manager, you still have cost gates where you can go and approve or decline a particular, a change which has happened. So you still can put budget limits, especially in the age of AI right now, when it's great that teams are trying different AI products, but it sometimes can also, create like a massive budgetary issue. So this way, the engineering manager can still, stay in touch with what is actually going. So he can say accept or decline, based on how the request goes, right? Along with that, we have ways for you to manage your budgets, whether you're going to overspend. So, you need to be a bit more careful on that. You also have green impact, which allows you to see that, hey, of all the savings that you've done, what's been the impact in terms of environment? And you can measure this. You can obviously download this report, present it, in different forums that you have. And finally, we have a FinOps score, which tells you more holistically from a FinOps perspective, how are you doing, and how does that compare to your peers in the same industry, in the same areas that we have seen. So while there's a lot more, I think we have covered a lot of ground today. Very excited that you've decided to check out Yasu. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are constantly building, so you'll see this demo also constantly iterate. Thank you and have a nice day.